All right, so we're back and we're still dealing with the cold. And the last video I did got a lot of attention with you guys that are dealing in the cold weather with painting or dealing with the body work and the primer side of it. So I want to show you guys again the UV primer from Glazert. This is to me the best stuff that you can possibly use, especially in the cold weather when you're doing this type of production work, because you can put it on, you can cook it with your UV light, or even put it in the sun if that is something that you're able to do, if it's not raining out or cloudy, and get this stuff to kick, cure up, and not have any problems with it. So this is a true production product that you can use right on plastic, as long as you use the adhesion promoter and you do not get it over 3 mils, and then you have a direct to metal product that you can put on up to 5 mils with it. So we're not talking about a thin product, we're talking about a heavy build that's gonna get you a nice amount of product to block out and get a nice straight body work. So this is the job here we've got it already bagged up, and we did some repair work to this area of the quarter. It is a white car, so you're having a hard time probably seeing, but this is filler through this here, and then it goes down to the dog leg. And we covered it up with our plastic, like you guys know we do here at the shop, to keep everything out of the car as well as keep overspray off the vehicle. So the bumper has a little bit of repair work right here, and we're gonna go ahead and get it primed up with the UV primer. And the nice thing about this stuff is, if you are in a shop where sometimes things slow down, this is gonna keep the production up in your shop, because you do not have to worry about waiting for this stuff to dry, baking your product. All right, so in the last video, we talked about bringing your car out into the sun and letting that sun cure that primer. That is based off of a 2K product, and I was referring that to a lot of the guys out in the hot rod world. So a lot of those cars are being fully skim coated on the panels, and they have a lot more body work done, and most of the time they're using a polyester primer anyway. But we never were talking about leaving that car out in the elements of the weather. So you'd push it out in the day, you'd bring it in at night, and you'd never bring that one outside if it was raining. So this here product that we're using for the collision is different, because we're only usually doing small areas in the collision world. So based off of that, we need to get these things dried up quick, and that UV light is ideal for moving these cars through the shop, whether it's cold or if you have a slow time in the body shop. You can get those cars over and immediately prime them up, get them sanded out, and get them in the booth and move them through the shop. So this is definitely a money-making tool, and you get a quality repair with it. So I'm gonna bring you in, show you guys the product that we're using here from Glazert. All right, so this here is the product that we're using. This is the 151-170 UV primer. And the nice thing about this stuff is there's no hardener for it, because it dries from the UV, and you don't have to get anything but that product. So the other day when I was going to that other shop, all I needed was that one product and my gun and then my light to get it cured up. So we didn't have to bring reducers and different hardeners like that. I didn't know if I showed you my mobile setup now when I'm going to the other shops to help out. I'll show you guys that here in a second. But you can just bring that one product and your light, and that light I have comes in a case, so it's really nice. So let's go over there and show you that. This here's my setup now when I'm going to these other crashes and helping out. This thing here really comes in handy. This is the Milwaukee pack out setup. This one has the wheels on it, and then all the stuff clips onto the top of this thing. So Milwaukee makes a lot of different products that will go on here, like radios, batteries, and different holders. So I've got mine set up here with this one pack out that will hold the guns. And we've got a couple guns in here right now. We got the WS400 in there clear. We've got the LS, and I brought some of my other guns from Luma and the 3M guns as well, but they're inside there now because I use those on a daily. But this is really nice, because once I get to the shop, I'm able to disconnect this here from the unit and bring that right into the mixing room, and I have all my stuff that I need, as well as this bag here that I just picked up that I'm gonna leave my buffer in, and then I'll have my different cleaners on the other side that I can bring over to where I'm gonna be prepping out the car. So that's the top of it. And then when I open it up, I've got my fresh air set up in here. I've got a different set of things that I may need when I'm at a different shop, like zip ties, some block paper, because you don't want to get to a shop and then start looking for things. You want to be able to get to that shop and be able to help them out, because that's why you're actually there. So this thing has been coming in really handy, and I'll do some more videos on it once we do start going over to the other shops and helping out. But let's go ahead now and look at that UV light. All right, so this here is the carrying case for that light. So this is why I really like it, because it's all in here with everything that you need to get it set up with. Right now I've got my batteries that would go in here on the charger getting ready so that we can hit that area with the UV light. And it's got the spot here for the glasses. The charger goes here, and then the light is laser cut into the foam. So this is the real deal light from my man Simon over there at IST Intech. And this is the AC 500. So this is a top of the line light, and it really cures up this primer. So we're gonna go ahead now, we'll wipe down this here section, and we're gonna hit it with our adhesion promoter, because you want to put the adhesion promoter on, let it flash off fully before you put your UV on. Let's go ahead and get this cleaned up. We'll hit it with our adhesion promoter, and then we'll start to apply the UV primer to the quarter panel as well as the bumper. All right, so on the plastic, we're going to go ahead and hit it with our 541-30. That is their universal cleaner for plastics. And then on the actual quarter panel, we'll go ahead and hit that with our normal prep sol. So we've got our cleaner in our pump sprayer here. We'll go ahead, hit it. That way we can get a nice clean surface before we hit it with our primer. So make sure you clean it, because if you have different contaminations on this, you don't know if sometimes the body man will sand something, they'll be touching something, taking something off of this, and then get something back on it. So always clean off the area after it is prepped out and ready so that you can apply your primer. So we'll change it up now. We'll go to our prep sol for the quarter panel. And then for our quarter, for the wax and grease, we're gonna use the 541-5 silicone and tar remover. That is what's recommended for cleaning it up before you're gonna get it primed up. So same thing, get all of the dust out of the sand scratches, and that way you know you're gonna have a nice adhesion as well as a clean surface for that primer, and you're not going to have any chances of fisheye. So when you are using that UV primer, you want to make sure that that panel is at least at 70 degrees, because it will go a little squirrely on you. So with the application of this here 1K UV primer, they want you to put on the first coat light, give it about 30 seconds flash, and then hit it with one more heavy coat. So it's a coat and a half product. And that is gonna still give you the mil thickness that I was telling you guys. 3 mils on plastic max, and then 5 mils on here, because you gotta make sure that you're gonna be able to get a cure with that light. So that's why this product is basically see-through. So if you start to put too much on, you won't be able to cure it, and then you'll be in a world of trouble. So make sure you do the recommended application from whatever company you're using, or you're not gonna have a good cure on the product. So we've got it all cleaned up. Let's go ahead and apply it. One thing you got to make sure when you're applying the UV primer is go with the recommended gun that they want you to use. So with Glazeret, they want you to use a smaller head on that. That is a 1.0. They want you to put that product on with a 1.0. That way you do not get too many mils on there and you're not able to cure it. So make sure you give that 5 minutes to flash off before you hit it with your UV. All right, we gave our adhesion promoter 5 minutes to cure on the bumper. We've got our stuff in the gun. This is a SATA gun with a 1.0 on it. We'll go ahead and put our light coat, let it flash for about 30 seconds, and then hit it with our second full coat, and that'll be ready to go. All right, we gave it 30 seconds. Now we'll apply our full wet coat, and then we'll let that flash for 5 minutes before we hit it with our UV light. All right, so in the meantime, we're gonna go ahead and get our light loaded up. This does have the battery packs. You gotta make sure you get these charged up. and they just clip in the sides of this here unit. I'll leave everything in the description about this here light. That way you guys can check it out if you're interested in picking one of these up. This is a heavy duty light. The company that makes these does nothing but UV lights, so they don't do anything like spray guns. They focus just on UV lights, and this is a top of the line light. So we've got it loaded. We're gonna give that 5 minutes and then we're gonna hit it. But with these UV lights, you wanna make sure that you use the right protection. These are special glasses that you wanna wear because you do not wanna look at this light when you're cooking that primer. So we're gonna get these on. You guys will see me looking like the Terminator, and we'll get this primer cooked up. All right, the one thing that I do love about this here light is it cures this primer up nice and rock hard. So with the smaller units, you have a smaller light. It's gonna be harder for you to get that area. You guys see, this is a big area. This is almost like a 6 to an 8 inch area. So when you're going over your area, look how much it handles that quarter panel. This is a smaller quarter, but just waving it over it, you're gonna get a nice cure, and you're not gonna have to have that massive big unit that you have to roll around and plug in. Those do work nice, but if you have to get on top of, say, the roof, this is where this light is gonna really come in handy. So we've let it flash now. We're gonna go ahead and hit it with the light, and we're gonna just run it about 4 inches away from the panel and just move our way up and down the panel. That way we can get a nice cure on it. So I just move it up and move it down. And with this here unit, when I was talking to Simon, because we did do a video when he came from England and showed me the light, he said you cannot harm the panel or the product because this light does not give off a lot of heat. So that's the one nice thing about it. So, and the amazing thing about it is once this is done, you can block it, DA it, and do whatever you need to do to get it prepped out and in that spray booth. So I love this product because it's a time saver and you're still giving a good quality repair. You're not speeding up a product that's not designed to be sped up by baking it or hitting it with a light. You're using this product exactly the way it's designed to. So if you hear that, that is the fan cooling off this unit and keeping that light from getting hot. So that's another really good feature about this here product, that it is able to cool down that lens and do the job the way it's need to with the UV and not heating up that light. So let's just run it over it a little bit, and then we'll be blocking it out and showing you guys how nice it sands, and you don't have to worry about any shrinkage. So this is the top of the line primer, and you have a top of the line light, and you'll get a top of the line job. All right, so we've cured it. It is dry, and it will still look like it's wet because it tends to have a shiny gloss to this primer. I want to block it out. You guys know we use the Fest tool here, but we are going to use a regular block. That way you guys can see how nice this stuff powders. So one crazy thing about this product is how much it builds. So you'll see through here, you guys see there the bare metal, and you'll think we do not have a lot of product on here, but this stuff builds phenomenal. So don't think that you're sacrificing having a lot of mils on this. You can actually put too much on of this product and then get yourself into trouble. So if you get a body man saying that stuff's not gonna fill in the scratches, or that's gonna not have enough mils on it, this is gonna have enough mils. This is a top of the line product, and you'd be amazed on how thick it is. So we'll block it out, and look how nice it's powdering up. And that basically was about 2 minutes we ran over that area with the light. So just a phenomenal product. And when you're needing to get something done quick, or if you just want to completely go to a UV primer, this is the best one that I've used so far here from the Glazerite. So I've used some years back in the day. They've had UV primers out for quite some time, but they never really got too much exposure and people stuck with the 2Ks because I think they were more familiar with them. So once you get used to how they work and how to apply them and how to use them, I think you guys are going to see that they are a game changer in this business. You will be able to move through these jobs knowing that once that car is painted and outside in the parking lot, you're not going to have any shrinkage. So let's go ahead, we'll block it out, we'll guide code it, we'll hit it with our DA, and we'll check it out all blocked out. All right, we blocked it out, and it might look like you have a lot of areas that you can see through, but that is the way this primer looks. So we're gonna double guide coat it, run over it again to refine the scratch, hit it with a 400, we blocked it with a 320, and that way we know we don't have any gouge marks from the block, because this does have a lot of different contours in it. So we'll refine that up now. All right, so just like that, you're able to get a job from a repair all the way up, prepped out, and now this job can go straight in the spray booth, and we're not sacrificing the repair. So one thing that I noticed about the Glazert system is it is a very fast system. And when we switched over to it from PPG, I did notice that it was faster, but I didn't realize how much faster it was. So it's funny, I went to a shop the other day and I sprayed 90 line, and that one is more like PPG, where you put your coats on, you let them dry, and then you come in and you give it one last control coat. When I got over there, I was blown away on how much faster the 100 line is now that I've been spraying it now for about 6 months. So I was over there and I'm like, man, I can't believe I'm still in here putting paint on. If I was over there with the 100 line, I would have been in and out and I would have already been through this job. So once you see how much faster a product like this is and how much better of a repair you get, there's no doubt that any of you guys will switch over to using the UV primer, especially for the collision work, because it is giving the customer a good quality repair, and it's moving these jobs through the shop the way that the production shops are designed to be, without sacrificing the quality of the repair. So I hope you guys liked it. I'll leave everything in the description about that UV light, as well as some of the products that we used in this video. I hope you guys liked it, and we'll see you guys on the next one.